All right, everyone, what's going on? We're up another 750 in less than an hour of trading. There was lots of names to trade today. I think I traded 6 different stocks. I was green on 5 of them, so did pretty well today. And I ended up losing out and giving back maybe another $300 or $400 worth of profit due to bad exits and maybe a couple mistakes that I made. So we're doing well. Awesome start to the week. Let's jump right into it. All right, with that said, let's just jump right into it. So, like I said, today was pretty awesome. I'm finishing up 750 Canadian here. Let me look at my profit loss. You can see it here. I'll just drag it over. It's right here, 572 and 751. So 572 and 751. Holy crap! This is getting kind of. This is quite the little hot streak I'm on it. Like, look at this hot streak and look at my daily average. It's just going up and up and up. And I'm still making mistakes. I'm still not happy with my trading. Like it just honestly it sounds crazy to say, and I know it makes me sound like a dick, but even making this today, I know there's so much room for improvement, and that I just. It's like, yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, that's amazing. But I see where I want to be, and where I could have been even today if I didn't make those mistakes. I could have had another $1,000 day or something. But it's just obviously progression. I'm going to keep learning. And now when I learn and I make mistakes, I still finish green. And that's huge, because before, when I was learning and I didn't really know anything, I would be finishing red. So I traded a bunch of names today. I'm not going to list all of them right now because we should just jump right into the live trades. So let's just do that right now. Where is the video? The video should be right here. Pre-market, you know, I wasn't too sure what to watch at the start. So I was watching, you can see here the gappers. The biggest gapper was CODA. It was up 106%, 110%, and it just looked kind of, I don't know, it looked like, if you look on the daily here, it looked like it was about to break out of $8 and maybe get a quick push towards this next pivot here, which I think was around 820 or 830 or so. So that was my plan here when I bought in. I was waiting for the bell to ring. The bell rang. And I didn't see that immediate resolution in the $8 range. So if we go back to where I bought, I'll show you the open here. Why is this not? Okay, so it opens. I'm in at $8. We don't get like any buyers, or the buyers that we do see were bought up into more of a hidden seller. You can see there's a lot of shares here. My time in sales looks a little weird. Sorry about that too, but. So I just bailed out of my position because I thought I was going to be wrong. And then I was waiting to get back in. So I got back in after the confirmation happened. Because if that didn't happen, we would have sunk back down probably to 760 or 770 or so. So I was waiting for just a little bit more of a push. And I get all my shares out there at 826. So brought myself from red to green. You can see I was down 70. And then up 60, so I made a decent amount of money. I made over $100 in that trade, so that's awesome. And then, sure enough, we're right back down into the 770s. So, really, really awesome that I read that fairly well and got out for that drop. So, I was also watching MDGS. Above 780 and above this 200 moving average right here was a critical level, but it didn't do anything for a while. So the next trade that I took was on SNES. It was on my pre-market watch list. I was watching it over the high of this doji candle on the daily at 185, and we are above the 200 moving average, which is this line right here. So it looked beautiful. This is a beautiful setup. This is one that I would take a million times. Now, we're not at all-time highs, but we have room all the way up here to 227. So I got in 1,000 shares, only 1,000 at 185, just to see how it reacted. And then as we broke through 186, I added to 3,000. I'm not sure if you saw my ad there, but I added to 3,000 shares thinking that we were going to break pre-market highs and I would sell probably around $2. And then if that worked, you know, 15 cents, that would have been like $300 to $450 of a trade. So I was adding again at 190 and my average is still low. So that's why I like adding into winners, because the full move still hasn't happened yet. And I'm waiting to sell above, like I said, 195. And as I'm adding on the way up, I'm not really adding to my downside risk because my average is still 186, but I'm increasing the amount of profits that I can make. So I really like that I've started doing that. So anyways, we don't get this resolution. I see this big seller here at 250, so I'm getting a little cautious. And it was kind of a poorly managed trade because or maybe not, because I held on to the whole thing. And then once I saw just a tiny bit of weakness and we started to come back down towards my entry, I just bailed out of the whole thing at 189 or 188. I only made a couple cents. And so I was wrong and I ended up making money. That is how you know you position yourself properly in a trade with really big size, or at least bigger size than you're used to. Because I don't usually take 3,500 shares. I'm usually a 2,000, maybe 1,500 share kind of guy. So I missed the 1 minute setup here on Coda. I didn't chase it, so some really good discipline there. MDGS was halted. It was a 10-minute halt. So the way I play these is that I wait for it to unhalt, and then I wait for it to make a new high, and then it dips. And then on the way back up, I buy through the squeeze of the highs. So that's what I was doing here. I got a terrible fill at 67. It was absolute garbage fill. And then I get some of my shares back out at 67. And then I'm waiting for a dip to kind of add more. So I want to add on support. Now this was a very risky trade. You can see it in my unrealized. You can see how risky this is. But I saw the power in it, how we were just gapping up above all of these levels on the daily. We were above the 200 moving average, and we were still above the halt level. So very, very risky. And then very quickly I go from down 300 to only down, 150, but I was getting nervous in this area. So how I would have played this if it had dropped was I stop out at the bottom of this candle, because if we stop out at the bottom of this candle, we're most likely going all the way back down to the next support, which is the moving average and the halt. So I didn't want to hold through that. That would have been a $900 loss or something. I can't hold through that. So I'm back up to full size here, waiting for the move over the highs here. We consolidate around the highs. I try and get my shares back out as a break-even, or not a break-even trade, at the highs there. And then I say to myself, okay, maybe we'll just push through. So right here, as we're pushing through towards 890, I sell at 888. I sell the whole thing, and I lock in 370. So at the end of it, you could say I risked about 350 to make upwards of 350 or $400. So a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, which is not bad, but it's not good. But that was only because I had a crappy kind of entry there, and I didn't get my sell when I wanted it to. So that is my fault. And also that leaves you to be right. You have to be right more than 50% of the time to be profitable if your risk to reward is 1-to-1. So if you lose as much as you gain on any trade, of course you have to be right more often. So this is one that I said, like I said, I thought it had kind of potential. I had conviction in this trade, so I was right on this one. So again, not a bad trade. Could have been better. That's why in the intro I said, or earlier on in this, I said, like, I'm not super happy with today, even though it worked out. So that's one of the reasons. So I was a bit of an idiot, and I saw the weakness in the stock. I saw it was up so much already, And maybe it's only because of hindsight that I'm going to call myself an idiot, but I tried to take the 1 minute setup here on it, and I ended up losing almost, well, a lot of the profit. So I was up 370 to, where is it? $104. So I lost $270 on the name. And I could have lost a lot more. I could have gone red on the name. So I tried to get in for the 1 minute setup. What is this? That is an alarm. I got in for the 1 minute setup. There was no immediate resolution. So I had to sell on the way down as it was flushing. And I got out at 850. So can you imagine if I was still holding? I'd be down $400 on the name. So I got out when I should have. And that time I was wrong. So, I mean, that's okay. That happens. Gene, Gene. I was buying in here for the break of this one minute candle to make a new high. For the move towards this resistance of, I think, 175 at the time. I didn't average into this because I saw the setup. I thought it was stronger. Maybe it was because I took that loss too, that I was a little bit more aggressive instantly. But the trade ended up starting to work out in my favor here as we're breaking through. And I'm just holding right now. I sell 2,000 shares for a 5-cent gain. And then I hold on to the last 2,000 to see what kind of happens. And I'm selling this up towards the 80s. So 79, I got 1,000 shares out. Or did I add back? Yeah, sorry. So I added back for the break of 176. So I added at 176. And I sold those 1,000 shares at 79. And I'm still holding on to that core position of 2,000 shares. And we're approaching this resistance on the daily at 183. I'm starting to see weakness. So I start to get all my shares out, and I get filled at, you can see here, excuse me, 79, 77. And my last 500 shares at 75, kind of on the way back down. So another great trade. That was, I'm trading really, really well today, so I'm happy about that. I tried Gene again with just 1,000 shares. I thought we were going to break through high of day at 83. But we didn't, so I had to sell back on the way down. And I took just a little bit of a loss on 1,000 shares. I ended up selling out here pretty much where I got in and really didn't erase any profit. Maybe $10 or something. So that was also good. Here on Gene, again, it popped back up again. So I said, okay, maybe this does have the strength. So I bought in here for the break of the high of day, which was 183. We're kind of curling through here, and it looks like we're gonna shoot through what I thought was high of day, but I think the high of day is maybe a little higher. But anyways, so where do I end up selling here? There's a lot of resistance. There's a huge seller there. You didn't see him at 85. So that's 45,000 shares plus another almost 6,000 shares at the next cent. So 50,000 shares that have to be bought up before it moves. So I told myself, okay, I shouldn't maybe have been in this in the first place. So I'm going to put my shares up with that guy at 185. And I got bought up almost instantly. All of my shares are out, and I add, what is that? Another $70, $80 of profit on the name. And like I said, another good trade. So I think there was another huge one. I can't remember where it was. Oh yes, Cali. I loaded up on Cali here on this little mini dip as we surged towards high of day. And then we started consolidating just under high of day. So I'm adding on these dips. You can see I'm getting filled here. All of these green candles or green triangles are my adds. So I think I added like 1,000 or a couple hundred at a time. And then as we break through high of day, I put 1,000 up at 327 is where I get filled. And I wait for the other 1,000. I get another 500 out at 325. I see so many people here on the ask that are stepping in to probably short the stock that I don't want to hold too many shares into that. So I get all the shares out and I go from a loser $80 loser to a $45 winner. So, you know, just making it stabs here and there, just little base hits, and it adds up. It added up today. So usually when I get tilted, as I call it, from that, let's say that loss on MDGS here, where I went from 400 to 100 in profits, that's where I would start to make stupid decisions. This thing needs to shut up. I would, you know, hold on to things for too long. I wouldn't take my profit when I had it, and then I would just go back into the red. So today I wasn't doing that. I was not taking one trade into the next trade, other than maybe taking 4,000 shares. But I'm not upset about that. I like pushing my kind of comfortableness or whatever, my envelope with share size to just get a feel for it. So that was good. I didn't let my emotions affect the rest of my trading. I took my base hits, and it added up. So, like I said, finishing the day up pretty well. Was there any other trades here? I don't think there was any other trades. I missed this whole MDGS spike from 725 to like 925. It was crazy. So with that, this is my P&L. So with that, I'm finishing up. Pretty big on the day. Awesome start to the week. Please, guys, if you like this channel, subscribe to it or leave a comment on this video with suggestions or whatever you traded today, or any questions that you have on like what I did on my strategy, any sort of that stuff. So I think what I'm going to do later today is go over one of these stocks really, really in depth. I'm not sure which one yet. Maybe Gene, where I made the most amount of money, so I can kind of really explain my thought process. I might do just a separate video on only this stock for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. We'll go down into the 5-second chart, and I can explain exactly what I was thinking at certain places, and you can see it makes more sense when I go into the 5-second chart, because you can see that, oh, I saw the consolidation, and just as it was breaking out, I bought more shares, and then I sold into the push. So the 5-second really brings out my thought process. So maybe I'll do that today, maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow. But look out for that. And please, if you want, join my Discord. We have a lot of people in here, a lot of traders. We're just talking about stuff. We have 11 people online right now, and many, many more in green that are offline. We just kind of talk about stocks. We're talking about chat rooms. We're talking about ideas. We're in here for pre-market, all that stuff. So anyways, you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.